everybody. Good morning, everyone here. Good morning to every one of you online. My name is Reverend Dr. Liza Marquez, and I am a minister here at the Global Truth Center. So welcome to the Global Truth Center, everybody. So in the spirit of doing things differently, I know last week Dr. James did a really nice introduction at the beginning of service. So usually where we're singing and we're dancing and it's loud, which I really enjoy, I really got a lot out of coming into service, being in sort of that meditative space. So I'm going to invite the singers, Mindy, Will, Emily, to please come up. And we're going to start from that same space. Yesterday I was at a Christmas party, and I had a really wonderful conversation with the person who was hosting it. And one of the things that I realized, he owns gyms, and he was saying how a lot of his members it seems to be almost like church, the experience that they're getting. And it reminded me a lot of the reason why, we're sort of changing things around and experimenting with what's going on and realizing that we're not really looking to come in here and be pontificated to or just absorb what someone's saying. We want to have the whole experience. So I invite you today to really participate in the experience, being part of service, experiencing it all. So as we do that, I'm going to invite the singers to start us off with I Surrender. Take a deep inhale and allow yourself to feel that surrender into this space, that surrender into this time, that surrender into this moment, which is a surrender into love. It's a surrender into life. It's a surrender into the power that you are. Taking this opportunity to just melt in to remembering who you are. Taking this moment again, falling deeper into that space, into that knowing, into that allowing, into that place that is you at all times, and bringing that recognition, bringing that light, bringing that life, bringing that power, that source that you are right here, opening to the experience, opening to the life, opening to the love that is you, that is surrounded by you, that is constantly given to you, that propels and powers you, surrendering to that knowing.
Breathe with me now, gently let it go. Open up your heart to all you need to know, everything you know, the wisdom of the winds, the echoes of the sky. your soul is asking you to fly. Let it go and let it fly. I surrender. I trust and I know that as I surrender, I fall into the arms of love. I fall into the arms of love.
Woo! That does feel good, doesn't it? I didn't get a chance to experience it last week. I came a little late to service. But wow, experiencing that surrender, that deep, thank you guys for allowing me to do that. And I just want to say welcome. Welcome to this Sunday. Welcome to your Sunday. Welcome to your service. For those that are new, we're happy to have you here. For those of you that are online that are new as well, we're happy to have you here. And for our family that's always here, I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you for being here. Yay. Our mission statement. So part of the experiential that I want to talk about, because like I said, that conversation that I had yesterday with my friend, and he was really talking about the experience of what people have when they come to the gym. That really is the experience that we want, in opening our hearts and feeling that as you walk out of here, it's not just walking out and going into your life. It's bringing what you've felt here, what you felt onto the rest of your day, and sharing it with others, really. And so I think that our mission statement here, which is love only, forgive everything, and more importantly, remember who you are. And I think the more we're here, the more we come to listen to Dr. James, to the speakers that are here, the more we really resonate with this last one, isn't it? Remember who you are. Because love only, well, love is all there is. Really, that's all there is. And it's our choice of figuring out how we use that love. We can use it in a small amount or we can use it in a big amount. And however we choose to use it is how it comes back to us. I think it was Lao Tzu who said, love is not an emotion, love is an action. And that's true. Love is what you put into something and not just what you expect from something or how you expect things to show up as you or through you or from you or to you, right? Forgive everything. And it's interesting, the more I think about forgive everything, the less I think it's about actually forgiving people of, how they've wronged me or how I've wronged myself. And I start to think more of forgiving everything is really about just releasing and letting go of anything in the past that is holding you back. Anything that doesn't actually speak to your soul. Because really, keep those things that really sing, that you can surrender to. But forgive and let go of those things that don't serve you. We tend to hold on to them. Just drive down the freeway and you'll forget to forgive and to release that anger unless you're throwing fingers left and right or curse words or whatever. But there's no need to do that because that's a version of love that we don't want to experience, right? And remember who you are. And at the end of the day, I love what Margaret said. I thought it was funny. It did turn into a Q&A with Margaret Owens yesterday, or last Sunday, when she said, I can't always love only. And sometimes it's really hard to get to forgive everything, especially when I'm angry. But if I can just get to remembering who I am, a pathway opens. And I think that's the operative word there, isn't it? When you remember who you are, it's like a pathway opens. It's almost like you're in one of those Egyptian, like in a pyramid being stuck somewhere, and you have to pull all these levers to figure out where you are. And if you can just remember who you are, it's like the pathway opens and the gold is found. That's how I choose to see it. So, in the spirit of changing things up today, I am going to invite our guest singer today to sing the song that I had chosen. Because today, this month being Awake, I was looking for a really fun song, and then I stumbled upon this song that also incorporated what my talk is going to be about. And then I called James and I said, "Do you think Will come sing it for us?" And he said yes. So here to sing Mumford & Son, the wonderful voice of Will with the beautiful Emily. Thank you.
How fickle my heart and how woozy my eyes. I struggle to find truth in your lies. And though my heart trips on things I don't know, the truth in my mind will finally show. So lend me your hand and we'll conquer them all. Lend me your heart, I'll just let it fall. Lend me your eyes, I can change what you see. But keep in your heart, you're totally free. Oh, 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 oh. Awake, my soul. Awake, my soul. How fickle my heart, how tender my eyes. I struggle to find the truth in your lies. And now my heart trips on things I don't know. The truth in my eyes will finally show. Oh, 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 oh. In these bodies we will live, in these bodies we will die, in these bodies we will find the truth in our mind. In these bodies we will live, in these bodies we will die, and where you invest your love, you invest your life. Awake, my soul. Awake, my soul. Awake, my soul. For you were made to meet your Maker. Awake, my soul. Awake, my soul. Awake, my soul. For you were made to meet your Maker. You were made to meet your Maker.
And Emily, thank you guys so much. Woo! That song makes me cry, so thank you. I get a little teary-eyed just when I sit there and just listen to it and absorb it. Awake my soul. Thank you very much. Thank you both. So my iPad's not working, so I did what my dad calls Mexican ingenuity. With the help of Jim, he found a little clip for me with, thank you, Anne, for letting me borrow your clip. Luckily, I printed out my notes so I wouldn't have to rely on my iPad. Somehow I knew that was going to happen. I'll just start with the title of my talk. The title of my talk today is, How Invested Are You? So last week when James was up here talking about, am I awake yet? And I loved what he had to say, asking the question, am I awake yet? But what really struck me more than anything else is when he asked, what are you committed to? And even more so, are you invested? How invested are you? So for my blog this week, I actually wrote about how that impacted me, the word investment. I mean, I'm investing in my retirement. I've invested in schools. I've invested in my education, in my children's education. But how much have I invested in myself? Now, I've invested in myself a lot as far as classes go, as far as this teaching goes. I really feel like I have invested a lot. But how much have I actually invested in knowing who I am and remembering who I am? How much investment, how much time am I putting? How much effort am I putting in remembering that? So I took a second to really reflect about my own personal investment in it. And I invite you guys to do the same, to really think about, what are you investing in? Because what you're investing in is what you're thinking, what you're saying to yourself, what you're saying to others, what you're believing. In the song he sings, and this is why I chose the song, in these bodies we live, in these bodies we die. Where you invest your love, you invest your life. In these bodies we live, in these bodies we die. Where you invest your love, you invest your life. And to me, like I said earlier, love only, love is an energy. Love is not just an emotion, it's an action. It's Lao Tzu says. Where these bodies we live in, these bodies we die, where you invest your love, you invest your life. So where you invest what you love, who you are, that energy of who you are, is what you're expanding in your life. And sometimes I think we sort of doubt, like we don't want to really take a look at what we're investing in, right? Like, no, I didn't invest in that divorce. Or no, I didn't invest in that accident. Or no, I didn't invest in that health issue. And I'm not suggesting that you actively did that. What I'm suggesting is that you put your love into seeing the truth about the situation. The truth about any situation is love. The truth about health, the truth about disease is health. That's the truth. I remember reading in The Science of Mind that the evil is not an entity, it's a fraud. And I loved that because so many times we're investing in that fraud as if it is an entity, as if it is an energy, and it's really not. And in so doing, we get understandably sometimes, we get very nervous and scared about what's going to happen next because of a health issue, because of a divorce, because of lack. We start to invest in that. And that is where I'm asking you to really suspend and not go down that rabbit hole, to really take the opportunity to remember who you are and move out of that into the love that you actually are, which is divine, which is whole. Now think about that word. You are divine and you are whole at all times. You are not broken. You are not diseased. You are not lacked. You are whole. But it takes the practice of moving away from that thought to remember who you are. In Thomas Trower, in the Science of Mind, he talks about mental coin, mental equivalent, and mental attitude. Now, I know this is a lot of jargon that we use a lot of times, and we don't stop to explain it. And it's actually a conversation that I'd love to have with Swan, because she said to me once, or as we were having a conversation, she said, we use these words all the time, but we don't really explain what they are. You know, we sort of assume that everybody knows what mental coin is, or mental equivalent, or mental attitude is. So when I'm talking about what your mental coin is, it's what you're thinking. It's what you're believing. That's your mental coin. And your mental equivalent is that which shows up in your life. So it's really transactional if you think about it. When you go to the store and you buy one thing, you're going to get what you pay for, right? If I bought this jacket, I better get this jacket and not something else. But it's my mental coin, or my money, that purchases it. Same with mental coin. What I invest, what I am thinking, and what I am believing is exactly what's going to show up right back at me, and nothing different. Mental attitude, he says, is this. Faith is a mental attitude which is so convinced of its own idea, which it completely accepts, that any contradiction is unthinkable or impossible. Faith is a mental attitude which is so convinced of its own idea, which it so completely accepts, that any contradiction is unthinkable or impossible. Now imagine having that type of conviction with everything that you approach. Nothing contradicts what you believe. When you are out and set out to do something, I mean, Karen Wright, perfect example. She set out to do the greater contribution. And look at it now, right? When you set out to do something, it shows up in your life. It just does. But the operative words here are, any contradiction is unthinkable or impossible. Nothing can sway you off of that. That's the type of investment that I'm talking about. That's the type of investment that I ask you to ask yourself. How invested are you? Are you this invested? Maybe, maybe not. But I think that's a question that you really need to ask yourself. Is my investment, there is nothing that contradicts it. It is unthinkable or impossible to contradict what I believe is mine to have. And by the way, just so we're clear, all of it is yours to have. It is your birthright. That's the type of belief that we need to have. Not just the car that you want, or the house that you want, or the family that you want, or the job that you want. Yes, that is all possible. But everything, all this abundance in the world out there is for you to have. It's your birthright. That's the type of investment that I'm talking about. And so when I ask about doing this experiential, about really anchoring into remembering who you are, it's for that reason. It's for the reason to start investing in yourself to that capacity. Anchoring in, having that experience of knowing what it feels like when you remember who you are. In my class, and I'm doing an 8-week class, we just did our second week. It's called The Energy of Choice. And we're reading the Jean Houston book, which Amy Shapiro read from this morning during our meditation, which I kind of wish I remembered that was such a beautiful quote from the book. I may ask you for it again. In it, this week I asked the class to do an experiential. And it reminded me of something that Paul Levy said when we were reading his book for our consciousness studies class. The book was Quantum Revelations. And what he said was, you are not just in the universe is in you. Think about that. You are not just in the universe. You are not just in this world. This world is in you. I think when I stop and think about the magnitude of that, again, it gives me pause. And so for the exercise that I asked my students to do in class, and I would invite you guys to do the same, is to go out in nature and look at a tree, or the stars, or the sun, or the clouds. Well, don't look at the sun. That probably wouldn't be very beneficial to your eyes, so don't do that one. But look at the stars and the moon. Look at the trees. Look at something and contemplate it, but really contemplate it. And then imagine that it is contemplating you. Now, I know that sounds very like woo-woo, airy-fairy, like, I don't know. Craig Lincoln's looking at me like, I don't know about that. But I ask that you go out there and have that experience of contemplating the very thing that is contemplating you. Imagine that it is contemplating you. And feel that unity that we talk about. That namaste. That who I am is who you are. When you feel that way with a tree, with the stars, with another person, with an animal, you realize that you can actually have it with your own desires, whatever they may be. I'm going through a little change in my life. And so the reason I'm talking about this contemplating something is because I'm contemplating something big. And I realize that fear pops up in this contemplation, in what my next step is. And it's identifying the fear that comes up when it does come up as I'm contemplating it, because I don't want to contemplate fear. I don't want fear to be contemplating me, quite honestly. So I want to remove it from my equation. So the only way that I know how to do that is anchoring into remembering who I am. And then asking the question from there. Investing into that mental attitude of faith that is unstoppable. And so as I contemplate what this next step is going to be, and as I remove the fear from it, and I'm able to see the other side, the beauty of the other side, which quite honestly may not show up that way, but I have to envision that it is a beauty that is propelling me forth, that it is the energy that is feeding my soul, feeding my life, so that I can in turn feed life, feed soul, feed others, and get fed back from that. Because everything is just reciprocal, isn't it? We talk a lot about that when we're in the giving part of service. Everything is reciprocal. Energy is reciprocal. Money is reciprocal. So as I give, I get. As you give, you get. And it's learning how to not to strain that, to keep it in, because then your investment starts to shrink. And what we're looking for is a growth in our investment, right? Like our 401k plans, our retirements, we want a growth in that. But we're only ever going to get out of it as much as we put into it. And so I bring up the relative facts of fear. And again, talking about jargon that we throw out there, relative facts. What is the relative fact? What we talk about relative facts are things that are happening out in the world. These are, tangible things that we see that are going on. The relative facts. But what we really are looking for in ourselves is that absolute truth. Now, the relative facts of what's happening out in the world can be very different from what the absolute truth is. And the absolute truth is that what I'm telling you is, when you remember who you are, it's that unshakable faith of knowing that you are abundant at all times, knowing that you are love at all times, knowing that you are health and creative expression at all times. At all times. That's the unshakable faith. That's contemplating absolute truth. And then there's contemplating the relative facts, which I read somewhere that 70% of what we perceive is through our eyes. So much of what we see is what we perceive. And if so much of what we perceive is in our eyes and that's what we see, then that's what we tend to believe. And it's turning it around so that we believe and know who we are, so that we can change what it is that we see. In Romans 12, it says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This is in the Bible. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And again, this is going back to exactly what I'm talking about. The contemplation of the relative facts that are out in the world. That's the pattern. That's the pattern of the world that is out there. It's kind of like an outline. Like here, the world, society, whatever, your family, they've thrown you an outline of what life should be like. Like here it is, just follow it and you'll be fine. But the truth is, our outline, our personal outline, our outline when we remember who you are, is as distinct as our fingerprints. It's as distinct as the grains of sand, the snowflakes. It is different for every person. And it's finding that which is yours, your pattern to live by, and not the pattern that has been subscribed or has been given to you. And I think so many of us fall asleep and follow this outline of life. I'll speak for myself. I know I have. I've fallen asleep, and I try less and less, as Rumi says, to not go back to sleep so that I remember who I am, so that I experience what I want to experience and not experience someone else's life or dreams or what they think I should be doing. I mean, if I did that, I'd be in San Antonio, Texas, which is a great place to be, by the way. I know my family's watching, and I love them dearly. But I wouldn't have the experiences that I have had throughout this life, which I'm super grateful for. And part of my thinking about or contemplating what Dr. James said last week was saying, how much more of life do I want to experience? I want to experience so much more of life. I really do. I want life to show up in such a grand way. And I know that this is the way to do it. I know that the pattern of my life, which as Romans says, do not conform to the pattern of this world. I don't want to conform. And I don't believe I have for the most part. But I really want to get to my pattern, to my absolute truth, to my knowing, to my individualized expression of what life is. And I think that each and every one of you wants the same thing, or else you wouldn't be sitting here. You wouldn't be listening. You wouldn't be taking this in, experiencing it for yourself. So how invested are you? Using my ingenuity. Thank you, Jim, for my next quote. In The Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes talks about a divine urge that is pushing us forward. And he says this: this awakening is a process of evolution, a little here, a little there, until the whole eye is open and we see that life is neither separate from God nor different from good. That's the part that we have to remember, because it's easy to get caught up in saying there's so much going on in this world right now. And there really is a lot going on. But there's nothing separate from God, and there's nothing separate from good. And what is ours to do is to unearth that good in our lives and bring it out into the world, bring it out to others, express it to others so that they too are inspired. Because you have to remember, what you do inspires others. One of the things that I love that Jean Houston asks is, the question that she asked once is, who would you have the privilege of meeting? Who would you want to meet? What would be the privilege of meeting? Who would be the person? And people shouted out all these answers. And then she reminded everyone what Joseph Campbell said, which is, the privilege of a lifetime is to be you. The privilege of a lifetime is to be you. Imagine all the people that inspire us have also been inspired by others. You, every one of you here, inspires people. You really do. So show up in the world as that very inspiration of who you are. I know I get inspired by so many in here. I watch what you do. I hear how you sing. I hear what you say and what you teach. And I'm inspired. I'm inspired to grow and to move. And I think so many of us need to approach the world as the inspiration that we are, right? Invest in who we are, in that inspiration. And I'll leave you with these last two quotes from John Kabat-Zinn, who's an author and a meditation guru. He says this: practice sharing the fullness of your being, your best self, your enthusiasm, your vitality, your spirit, your trust, your openness. Above all, your presence. Share it with yourself, share it with your family, share it with the world. And he also says, trust in your deepest strength of all, to be present, to be wakeful. Trust in your deepest strength, to be present and to be wakeful. Because when you are present, when you are in this moment and you're remembering who you are, you can't be anybody else. And you are that love. And you release everything that's happened before you because you're remembering who you are in that present moment, which is your greatest strength. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So now, since I flipped the script, I'm going to have the beautiful Reverend Suzanne Benoit come up, and we're going to talk about what our word of the month is. First of all, I have to tell you guys, I've known Reverend Suzanne for a very long time, and I absolutely adore her. And talk about someone who inspires me. She's been inspiring me since the moment I went to the NoHo Art Center, and you were a board member. And I remember it was a period of time where I was going through a separation, and I just wasn't sure what I was doing. And your energy, just by being who you are, by being in your presence, constantly lifted me. And I am so grateful for it. So I'm so grateful to be sharing the stage as my inspiration today.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, awaken.
Well, I had some thoughts this week about our affirmation, which talks about awakening to our deepest desires. And what really started me thinking was correlating that phrase with awaken to the more. I think you talked about patterns.
Yes.
And we've all known for a long time that one of the patterns is that how we should be grateful. And I am grateful, and I know that everyone in this room is aware of being grateful for all the blessings that we have in our life. And do we really look and identify what our deepest desires are? Because somehow there's almost a little guilt thing associated with, well, I have so much, I'm grateful for what I have. Well, is there more? Do I have a desire that's deeper than what's going on right now? And
I think there's always more, isn't there?
Yes, there is always more. And it's all loving, creative energy. So that's what we are.
Yeah.
We are creative energy. So when these desires, these ideas, these dreams come to us, it's our creative energy expressing.
Wanting to express.
Exactly.
Because we have to follow that energy to express it.
That's right.
It's that, like I said, the divine urge that Ernest Holmes talks about.
Yeah. But he also talks about that it's already done. All our good is here, right now.
Yeah.
But we have to recognize it. We have to awaken to the power within that idea, the power within that urge, that desire, because the power we have is the power that created the entire universe. It's true.
I love what you just said. The power within the desire.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's the seed within that desire. There's a seed within the desire,
right.
Not just the desire itself. It's that seed.
Right, and that's creative energy moving.
Yeah.
And, as you spoke about investing, I was reading a blog from Rita Andriello this week, and she had a line in there that really spoke to me on the same thing about revealing and identifying what deepest desires are. She said, what we do is we cultivate, like we're planting something, we cultivate our mind and our belief system and what's in our heart, because your heart is very involved in all of this. Deepest desires, it's the meeting of the heart and the mind.
Right.
And that's how we grow our life, is revealing, accepting what those deepest desires are.
Yeah.
Knowing the power that's in them.
Yeah.
and then allowing them.
I love that you said accepting them too, because I think sometimes we run away from them.
Yes, exactly.
It's
We think maybe
easier.
there's something wrong with it, or I think I don't have enough. I shouldn't desire that because I'm so grateful for what I have right now. We are blessed with the ability to experience everything. That's what we're here for. Creative energy is always moving, and it's who we are. You talked about birthright. It's absolutely true, but we have to claim it.
Yeah.
We can't just look at it and go, oh, that would be nice. No, claim it.
Yeah.
You want it, you believe it, claim it.
It's kind of like all that money that is, it was an NPR story about there's like trillions of dollars that have gone unclaimed because banks or people forgot for whatever reasons. It was just a very interesting story, and I thought, oh my God, but this is exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You have to, it's there. It's there. It's in an account for you. You have to claim it.
With your investment.
With your investment. Way to bring it full circle.
Yeah.
All right, so shall we do our affirmation?
Yes.
Our theme of the month is awakening.
That's right.
And our affirmation is?
I am awakened to my deepest desires. So please say it with me. I am awakened to my deepest desires. One more time. I
am awakened to my deepest desires. I feel like we should do it a third time.
Okay.
No, I really want to hear this. Like, these are your deepest desires. Like, think about this for a second. Are your deepest desires like this? I don't think so.
No.
Yes.
Bring passion.
Stand up. Bring your deepest desires to the forefront right now. This is where you're planting the seed of your deepest desire. So let's hear it like your desires are coming to you by the way you speak to them. Ready? I am awakened to my deepest desires. Yes.
Go for it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Suzanne Benoit. Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me play with this a little bit, too. I said to Thor earlier today, I'm like, I'm a little nervous. I feel a little disconnected, not in a bad way, but just like, I'm not totally sure what's going to happen today. So I appreciate you guys being here. And actually, I appreciate so many people being here because I thought for sure the rain would deter, we're in Southern California. None of us really go out in the rain unless we really have to. So the fact that we have, and Suzanne brought up a really great point earlier today. She said, the earth is being nourished. And while we're here and online, we're being nourished. So thank you guys for allowing me to just kind of play along with it and just have a little fun and do something different. Thank you. And now is the time for our giving. Speaking of giving, speaking of reciprocating. So I'm going to invite you guys. So if you do an auto tithe, really bring your consciousness to that basket as it goes by. And if you write your check, write it with that same consciousness of knowing exactly who you are. Write your check, your money, however you choose to do it, but bring your consciousness to this basket and understand that it's not just money, it's a reciprocation of energy, of consciousness, and that growth and that movement of it. So with that in mind, I invite you all to say these words with me. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied exponentially.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Please sing this with me today. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Good morning. It's Sunday, December 11th, and here are your Global Truth Center announcements. Happy birthday this week to Cal Torrance, Andy Klein, and Carolyn Wallach. Coming up on the calendar, the Wisdom Women's Group is having their holiday potluck party today, starting at noon. Join in with our community as we celebrate friendship during this holiday season. If you're watching this at home, you have about, checks watch, an hour to drive here and join in the festivities. We hope to see you at 12 noon. Our new series of accredited classes has begun. On Monday evenings, join Dr. Lori Savage at 6:30 for her class, The Mystical Universe. On Wednesday, you can participate in Dr. Liza Marquez's class, The Energy of Choice, also at 6:30. Both classes are presented on Zoom and are a great way to finish 2022 on a high note and begin 2023 with positive momentum. You can take one class at a time by visiting the classes page on our website. This coming Saturday, December 17th, join us for holiday caroling at the home of Dr. James and Kevin. The event begins at 4 p.m. and ends at 7 p.m. We'll be caroling around 5:30. We are asking people to RSVP on our website on the calendar page. On December 18th, we'll be presenting a Broadway Christmas, our traditional Christmas show featuring holiday classics that have a Broadway origin. You can purchase your tickets now on our website on the calendar page. And save the date of December 24th for our Christmas Eve candlelight celebration. Finally, as you begin to think about 2023, definitely make plans to join us for CPR, Dr. James's acclaimed program that will help you have a positive mindset about finance and abundance in the new year. The class begins on January 2nd. Look for sign-up opportunities starting this week. You can always find out what's going on by visiting our calendar on the website. To find it easily, just use your cell phone on the QR codes you see throughout the sanctuary. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
So happy birthday to those celebrating birthdays. And, the announcements that I have would basically be the same that were just on here. But I will say, I do want to say this. I want to put a shout out to our Broadway Christmas, which is a lot of fun. That is going to be a lot of fun, so I highly suggest it. And going to Dr. James's for caroling. I know it's, Tiffany, you went last year, was it? It was fun, wasn't it? Various, kids, adults, everyone have a great time. So I highly suggest that if you're not doing anything this coming Saturday, join the festivities there. And Consciousness on Demand today, Pauline, are you the only one that, because I know you are everything. Will you come up here real quick and tell us where you're going to be? Right here. Okay, so if anything's come up for you today during this talk, or if you really want to invest in something growing bigger, then come and see Miss Pauline Pancake up in the meditation room. And I just want to say thank you again for the singers. Thank you, the band, Thor, everyone. Thank you guys very much for allowing me to be on stage again today. It always makes me happy to come up here. And I absolutely love and adore all of you, and sending so much love out into the universe for all of you. And so now I invite the singers to go. Oh, one last thing. I would love Reverend Suzanne Benoit to please come up and give us a closing treatment. Please. I'm making you walk more than you want to.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm going to say right here and right now that without a shadow of a doubt, I know that there is only one thing going on. It's this loving, loving, loving creative energy, pulsing, moving, expressing at every single second. I know it's everything that I am, and I certainly know that it's exactly everything that every individual in this room and online is. We are love. And we are right now in the season of love, for that's what the Christmas spirit is. And I certainly want to thank Reverend Liza and this morning for inspiration and something to take with us into this week as we express and invest and move through the days ahead. I am so very grateful for this community, for this service, for this minister, this Reverend Liza, and for each and every person here this morning and allowing me to participate and be here. And so I release my words, knowing it's all done, it's all good, and it's all unfolding. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you.
As time has unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every step I make, every last breath I take, may I be gracious and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light any darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. cover me. Love cover me. Love, 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 love. That's right, sing it with us. All about love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Cover me, love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Have the most amazing week, everyone.